Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back. We love our pets. They're members of our family. But sometimes they need some medical attention, sometimes surgery, sometimes, a visit to a vet, and sometimes they need to recover. Well, how do you support them when that happens? We're going to dig into that today. And with not just a vet, we're going to talk with somebody who has the amazing ability to communicate with our pets. So she's somebody that can actually find out what they're feeling and how things are going. I'm talking about Ani, Animal Intuitive, and she's back on the program. Ani, how are you doing today?
Good, Steve. I'm ready.
It's so great to have you back. And I'm glad we're going to talk about this because at some point, probably going to need some medical attention for your pet, maybe a procedure, or even in your situation, you adopt a new pet and your bundle of love is going through a recovery from being neutered, right?
Exactly. So, so I wanted to share how animals actually see it through, the experiences that I've had. And so let's get into it.
Love it. So my first question has to be, do our animals really understand that they've been injured or underwent a procedure, or I'm going to even rewind there, or even know that they have a procedure coming up? Do they know?
Okay, so about injury, I'm going to share a story. There was, and this has happened numerous times, there was this dog in particular that he was actually a working dog on a farm. And she very concerned. She said, I don't know how he has this limp. I don't know if he can tell you. And I said, yeah, let me see. And so this dog actually showed me, because I do get messages in different ways. So I saw like in my mind, kind of like a daydream of a picture of like him going over some rocks, and it kind of like twisted like a spring. And she goes, oh my gosh, that makes sense. And then I told her what I was seeing, what I was seeing on the property and what he was showing me. And she says, oh my gosh, yes, we have a part of our property that's actually like that. And so then I asked the dog more details about it. And he's like, oh yeah, it hurt me. I felt like my foot kind of got stuck for a second. And then every once in a while, it does kind of affect him. And that was that situation. Yes, they do. So the answer is, anytime I've ever asked an animal about an injury, they are aware that they're injured. Now, that doesn't mean that they know like totally what to do about it. Like sometimes they do understand that, like, let's say it's a bird and they can't use the wing, so they're holding it in. Sometimes they do understand that, but other times they don't.
When you say they don't, do they have any idea what it is? That it's something was done to my body.
Right. So it's like, oh, it hurts. Again, injury. I'm only talking about injury in this case because post-op is a little bit different. Okay. Or surgery. Oh, it hurts. I injured my wing. Or, oh, it hurts. I injured my hoof, and I don't like it hurts, and I know how it happened. But I've gotten a lot of animals that have said, I need help. They've actually admitted it. Like, I don't know what to do and I need help, or I'm scared.
And this is what you get when you communicate with them?
Right. But obviously it does depend because all animals are individuals and unique. So, but that is an ongoing thing. Either they do know what they want, like, or what they want to do. Like I'll say to them, okay, well, what do you feel that could help you? And I'll maybe give them options that I'm aware of. Like I'll say to them, oh, how about rest? Or how about, this, it's a horse, let's rest in the stable. Or how about, you put a splint on. Sometimes I have to explain what those things are, like if it's a splint or something like that. And Steve, sometimes they understand it, but they don't want it, right? Like little kids.
So they're defiant, like, I don't want to put that on. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Like cones are a big thing. And I'm going to get to that later with dogs and cats. Okay.
What did you, I missed that. What did you say? What's a big thing?
Cones, e-collars. Big thing that they
Oh,
don't like.
the lamp, the dreaded lampshade. Okay. Let's get to,
Dun, dun.
Yes. We'll get with that. By the way, we're talking with Ani, Animal Intuitive. This is somebody who, and I've witnessed it. So if you think it's like woo woo, yeah, okay, trust me. She communicates with animals, and that's in body and also in spirit. You can find her at Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com. And we're talking about supporting animals who are injured or even post-op. What do we do to prepare them for surgery? Is there something that we should be doing?
Okay, so let's say I'll have to tell them. Okay, and I'm going to use another example, a cat. I was talking to this cat named Cyrus.
Okay.
I'm like, Cyrus, you do understand that you have cancer, right? And he's like, yeah, I understand it. I don't feel well. I've been having treatments. I said, and you do understand what surgery is? Do you understand what that is? And I explained to him, I said, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. They're going to put you to, you're going to go to sleep. You're going to get cut. They're going to take it out. And then mom or dad will be there after to come and get you. He was like, no, I don't want that. It's going to hurt. Da, da, da. I said, yeah, but here's the thing. This is something to help you. And so I had to explain it to him, like help and not to be afraid. Because a lot of them too feel afraid. Not maybe because of the pain, but because are you going to come and pick them back up?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're afraid of that. There's a lot of them that are afraid of like, I'm going to be left.
Abandonment. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, I never even thought of that. You drop them off, you're hugging them, kissing them, loving them, making them feel secure. And then they're still worrying that you might not come and get them.
It's, especially, again, Steve, we have covered a lot about animals that have been rescued. And that's a big thing if you're going to leave them for surgery. Are they coming back? Well,
okay, point taken there. And it's almost heartbreaking that our animals would even think that, but that's like a child. You can't, that's what they're going to think, and that's the way it's going to be. Wow, okay. Thanks for bringing that point up, by the way, Ani. Oh, Ani, can you still hear us? I think we might have lost her.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
You know what? It's so ironic because we're talking about abandonment. For a second there, I was like, no, don't go. Not now. Wow.
Can you hear me? You can hear me.
I got you. No problem.
All
yeah.
Right. Okay. So, one of the things that I do want to be sure of what can you do if the clinic or the vet's office, hospital, what have you, does allow you to leave something of a personal item of yours or the crate or the cage, right? Or in the case of a horse, it's usually different. I don't know what they allow with horses, but do leave something with your scent, like what you maybe worn or your pillowcase or something, so that they feel that you are around them and you're coming back.
Wow. Didn't even think of that. Even if you're allowed to leave a blanket, that has your scent on it, right?
Yes. It's really is important. It's a very important thing.
Let me ask you an unrelated question, but it is somewhat related. Do all animals or most have a pretty strong sense of smell?
For the most part, I can speak for mammals. When it comes to birds, I'm not. Let me see from what I remember from what I have. I'm gonna have to ask birds that question. I've never really asked a bird that question. Usually they talk a lot more of their sense of sight and their sense of hearing. Birds.
Yeah, and it's funny that as I'm asking that question, I was thinking birds. I really was, because I look at my kitten and he's got some good smell. Like he knows, like he picks up on things because I guess they're animals that in the wild they need to have that. And of course, dogs goes without saying. But yeah, I was just kind of curious because we've never talked about that, and never do.
That's a really good question. Yeah, but that's one of the things that I've noticed that birds really do talk about. They care about what things look like for whatever reason. They talk a lot about their cage and the way the toys look and how they see things, how things feel. But I've never really heard of their sense of smell as much.
What about any other things to get them ready for surgery or a procedure?
So, yes, if you do want to have a meditation or a prayer prior, and actually do talk to them because they do listen. They can hear you. They know what's going on.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And then, of course, you can, if you would like to have a communication prior, that's always a good thing.
How do you mean that?
So, in other words, if they want to set up an appointment with me.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're saying, okay, gotcha. If they want you to communicate with their animal before or after a procedure.
Right. Definitely. And definitely I have communicated with a lot of animals after injury to let the person know more. It's not as much the animal, okay? Because the animal does know what's going on, but it's more the person wanting to maybe either clarify or they want some type of confirmation of what is happening, just to make sure that they're going towards the right direction.
Yeah, and not a replacement at all for a vet, but
not at all.
Right, but might be some insight in dealing with the vet to echo what's going on. And of course, you don't have to tell the vet, hey, I talked to an animal communicator, but you could, if you're not comfortable with that, I totally would be. I give your name out all the time. But on the flip side of that, at least you could share some insight. Hey, I've got a thought for you, Mr. Vet or Ms. Vet. What about this or what about that? What about this scenario? Maybe this is what happened, when they got that injury, whatever it might be. But obviously, the more information that the healthcare professional has, the better chance of your pet getting better care, them healing faster, right?
Correct. But again, not as a replacement for veterinary care. Absolutely
not. We're going to take a very short break and come back and field a question as well for Ani. If you want to reach her, Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com. Or if you got something you want to say here, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Hang tight.
Living comfortably in your home is easier than ever with a little help from Lowe's and AARP. We share a commitment to help people make their homes ready for all of life's changes. Take advantage of helpful videos, tips, and resources to guide you and your loved ones along the way. To learn more, visit lowes.com/livablehome. U.S. only.
All across Greater Fort Lauderdale, millions of taste buds are cheering. Because right now you can dine at top restaurants and enjoy amazing 3-course meals starting at just $35.
So good. This is what I'm talking about. Pass the butter.
It's all part of Lauder Deals. Great deals at restaurants, spas, attractions, and of course, hotels.
Look at that beach view. Look at that minibar.
See all the Lauder Deals and plan your beach getaway at visitlauderdale.com/deals.
Hey, who ate all the key lime pie?
Introducing Venture X, Capital One's new travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Ani, Animal Intuitive, experienced in bridging the communication between you and your animal friend, providing energy therapy for your animals who are ill or traumatized. Go to AniAnimalIntuitive.com. That's ANI animalintuitive.com.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are rolling back in, talking about supporting our animals who are injured or need surgery, heading into surgery, or post-op. And that is with somebody who communicates with animals, Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com. Amanda is checking in from Berkeley, California, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com, and says, my dog, Roscoe, needs hip surgery. It's breaking my heart, but I'm trying to be strong. Do you think he knows I'm upset? And do you have any suggestions to help him go through it as best he can?
Okay, so first of all, I know this sounds corny, but, and I know it's hard, but it is important as much as possible to like keep calm. And I'm speaking from a dog mom that had my dog actually had about 3 months ago an accident that she jumped from high and she twisted her knee. And remember, I don't know if you remember this, but she snapped her ligament.
Oh, now, who is this again?
This is Joy.
Joy. And didn't Joy have knee surgery or something like that?
She had what's called prolotherapy, which is it's to create scar tissue with certain injections. Okay, which is amazing. I mean, that prolotherapy, I would do it again if I had to. It's really worked well. But how to prepare? First of all, you try and stay calm. You breathe. You think in the positive. What do you want the outcome to be? And try and focus on that as much as possible. And then work on, staying as calm as possible for them. And then say out loud to them, more like affirmations, like, yes, this is what's going to happen. Yes, you're going to be okay. I'm coming to pick you up. All is going to be all right. Stay as much of what you want, not what you don't want.
I'm trying to get a frame for that. It's such a traumatic time for us,
Yeah.
right?
It's not easy.
Not easy. No.
Not at all. I mean, it's hard. It's very difficult to see them. They're a member of your family. They're like your furry kid. So it's hard. And then that you're going to have post-op with them. And that there's all these things that are going to come about. And I also say too, if you feel like you need to go and get a second opinion, do it.
I don't know why you wouldn't. And by the way, you're available. So if somebody's wondering, what do I do? Should I get a second opinion? You really want to know what's on your animal's mind. You want to talk to your pet, and that's where you come in, and you can field those questions. And again, it's not a replacement for medical. If your gut is telling you go for a second opinion, go for a second opinion, do it. But just to know what your animals are thinking. Now, Valentino is your new dog, right?
Yes, that's my new baby.
Yeah. So how did that go? And we were going to talk about the dreaded lampshade around the neck, right?
Which that's what I'm going to bring up with Valentino. Okay. So he is a very, very, he's actually right now asleep between, on my lap right now, passed out. He actually yesterday was 10 days that he had his neutering, and he's about 3 years old now. I got him from a rehoming situation, somebody that couldn't keep him. And what happened is, I, of course, am going to get him neutered. So I went to go take him to get neutered, and I was talking to him first. And he was like, I told him, I said, you're going to go to sleep, and then you're going to feel groggy. When you wake up, I'll be there to pick you up. I promise I'll be there to pick you up. And he was already very I felt very nervous. Like, do you promise you're leaving me? I said, I promise I'll be here to pick you up. So he came out super groggy and everything was okay. Then when we got home, I put the lampshade, right? The e-collar on him. For the first 2 minutes, he was okay. And then he had the worst anxiety attack. All I'm hearing from him is, oh my gosh, get this thing off of me. Freaking out. If he could have cried, he would have. Tears like a child. Like he was trying to pull it off. Total panic. And so I took it off of him and I had they're called inflatable collars. They look like what you would use when you go on the airlines, those pillows.
Oh, yeah, the sleeping pillow.
Right, but it's Velcroed, so it goes all the way around. So they can see out. Yeah.
You know what, Ani? I didn't even know that existed.
They're awesome.
Wow.
They are awesome. Now, the only thing about them is you do need to make sure that they are the correct radius, that they're not too small so they can't go to lick the wound. You know what I mean?
Right. But think about it. At least they can move around. You can't even, with that collar on, you can't even walk underneath the table. It's crazy.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, he was afraid to move. And I've talked to some animals that they'll literally stare into space. I've spoken to cats. They don't know what to do. So it's like they freeze. And I think from my experience, again, not a vet, this is my experience of the animal's perspective. They cannot see sometimes. They're bumping into things, so they feel clumsy. They're afraid that they're going to injure themselves more. I think the inflatable collar, for me, and what they prefer is the way to go.
I love that idea, Denny. So, you know what? You learn something every day. I think that's fantastic. I wish I was the one that invented that, because the collar is just, and you know what? The collar even falls off too. It's not even secure, and you got to put it back on. So to me, that's more trauma. Hey, come over here, Roscoe. I'm going to put this back on your neck again. Great. Fantastic. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. So what do you want people to that are listening to know or take away when it comes to supporting our animals that may have suffered an injury, may have to be going through surgery, may have gone through a procedure and are healing? What's the one thing that you want them to know?
Well, first of all, that to stay as calm as possible with them, to support them, let them know that everything is going to be okay. I know that some of us, especially, they're like, oh my gosh, now they have to refrain from a lot of activity. This is any type of animal. When you get injured or post-op, they're going to have to refrain from a lot of activity. If they're not older and they have a lot of energy, I know that that's like the dread, right? But there are ways you can keep them calm. With some animals, CBD does work. Mm-hmm. You can keep them calm with frequency solfeggio music. You can keep them calm if they're not a cat. Cats, you cannot do this. With essential oils, you can use for most animals, just not cats. You can also use surrogate EFT tapping, and we've talked a lot about that, Steve. I like Robert Smith's technique. It's faster EFT tapping. That is the one that I would use, and I've used it a lot for clients and my own animals. There's so many things that you can do, but stay calm, stay as positive as possible, and focus on the end result.
Focus on whatever that result is. Let's say healing beautifully through surgery, or even so. You say even focus on the end result. Even if you're leading into that, you have a surgery day coming up in 2 weeks, focus on perfect healing afterwards.
Right. Or focus on, okay, this is what happened. This is the injury. They're going to get through it. They're going to heal. Everything's going to be okay. It's going to be easy for them to be, to be not moving around as much. Everything's going to go easy and smooth.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you know what? To me, that sounds like putting the positive energy out there.
It's very important. It's very important, and it really does work. And I am here for you. So please do reach out, and I would be happy to tell you. I love to share with what your animal is thinking and feeling with you.
Love it. And how do people reach you, Ani? What's the best way?
The best way to reach me, go to my website, animalintuitive.com, and you're going to either, my phone number is there, you can text me, or you can email me, or you could just go to book now session if you would like. One of the three.
Love it. This is such a great topic we talked about today because you really don't know how to handle it, and it's very emotional too when you got to take your pet to the vet and there's something going on, you got surgery pending or whatever, a procedure. So great topic today. And again, if you want to really connect with your animal, and it can be done virtually. And as I've learned with Ani, you don't even have to have your pet in the room, just a picture sent to her and just a couple of details, the pet's name, and Ani, you take it from there, right?
That's right. And I also am all over social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, guys. And I share a lot of tips and experiences there.
Love it. Ani, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ani, animalintuitive.com. That's Ani, ANI, animalintuitive.com.